Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is Ray with Iron Fork Nutrition. I wanted to come to you today and make a video about diet priorities. Now, this might seem pretty simple, but with my experience, these priorities are often overlooked, and I kind of wanted to shed some light on them. So what I have done is I created two columns. Here are the priorities that I've seen with most unsuccessful dieters, and then on here, the priorities that I've seen with people who've had success with diets long term. And I kind of wanted to go over everything. I will be breaking each of these down in a separate video, so I'll kind of go through them pretty quick just to give you a general idea, and then in the future I will be doing a video on each individual to get more in depth with it. Now, for unsuccessful dieters, a lot of times I've seen that the first thing they focus on are supplements. You know, I'll set up a diet for somebody, and one of the first things I ask is, what supplements do I need to take? What do I need to go buy? And really, it comes down to people looking for that quick fix, right? They're looking for the magic pill, and that just doesn't exist. So supplements aren't meant to be the focus of the diet, and if they are, you're on the wrong diet. I'm sorry. So that is one of the out of place priorities that I've seen. Second is the current fad. We all know someone who has tried every diet out there and they still look the same, right? And so what happens that I've seen is there'll be the newest fad diets out there. It promises amazing results, and someone will try it and they don't get the results they expected because they were sold kind of a false bill. And so they, instead of refocusing and seeing why that didn't work, they just jump to the next one. And this kind of creates this diet roller coaster in a way where you get to the people that say, I've tried every diet and they don't work. I'm just broken. And that's not healthy psychologically. And when the reality is they're not broken. They haven't stuck with a diet long enough, or tried a diet that's worth anything. So jumping from diet to diet is not helpful. 3, this is a big one. People tend to obsess on the scale. And what I mean by that is they tend to obsess on just the number that's on the scale. I tell people that you do not have a number floating over your head, right? Nobody knows what you weigh. All they know is what you look like. And so a lot of times I will get people that they'll weigh themselves a ridiculous amount. And if it moves up at all, if they're trying to lose weight, they panic, right? And what that kind of causes is if they see the scale move up a little bit, they'll cut calories instantly. Whereas that's not the case. That probably was not a gain in fat. It could be you ate a little later, you weighed yourself at a little different time, your hydration comes into play. There's so many variables here that people will panic with that scale. Also, everybody fluctuates hour to hour, day to day with their weight. And so, at least with my clients, what I recommend is weighing yourself every day at the same time. So wake up, use the restroom, weigh yourself. And then take an average throughout the week. Because throughout that week, you'll see that your weight fluctuates. And that prevents people from overreacting to the fluctuations in weight. And so we take the average of each week, and then we look for a trend downward across the averages. That's a little more sustainable way to go. And also, you have to take into account body composition changes, especially with people who are new, because it's likely that they can put on some more muscle rather quickly. And so I've seen people completely change their body composition, look like a totally different person, and the scale didn't really move at all. I mean, maybe a pound or two, but people would swore they lost 20 pounds, and they didn't. We just worked on their body composition. So while the scale is a useful tool, it should not be the main focus. Motivation. So what I mean with motivation is a lot of times people will rely on motivation, and that's We all need it, right? I mean, it's great to feel motivated, feel pumped, ready to go. But when you rely on it, eventually it's going to run out. And then you find yourself sitting in the parking lot of the gym looking through Instagram trying to find a motivational video on YouTube or something. But eventually that wears out. And so how to fix this is use that motivation to get started, right? That initial burst of energy, you want to get this going, get that started. And then along the way, learn the discipline. That way, when you come to a day where you're just not motivated to go to the gym, you're not motivated to eat your meals or whatever the case is, you have your discipline to push you. And then number 5 is quick results. Everybody wants to lose 10 pounds in a week. And it's just, the reason I have this on the unsuccessful side is because I focus on sustainability. I don't want crash diets for people that, and then they bounce back. We've all met the person that they lost 40 pounds in a month and everyone's like, wow, you look great. And then they stop the diet and they gain 50 pounds back the next month. That's not healthy, either physiologically or psychologically. It's just not healthy. And so rather than that, you need to focus on making this a lifestyle change. That way you can lose slowly, but you have all the time in the world to do so. And it becomes sustainable. So rather than looking good for a month because you starved yourself to death or did a water fast or whatever the case is, take a balanced approach and lose a little each week and enjoy those results for life. All right, let's get into some more positive stuff and look at the successful strategies. Number 1 has to be energy balance. So energy balance is simply calories in, calories out, right? And depending on your goal, you're going to have a different energy balance. If you're trying to lose weight, you will have to be in a caloric deficit. If you are losing weight, by definition, you are in a deficit. You are burning more calories than you take in. If you say you just want to focus on health, balance your diet out, you can get on maintenance calories, which will keep your weight stable, but you can still work on your health and how you feel with that. And then if you're trying to put on some size, some muscle, some strength maybe, you can be in a caloric surplus. So number 1 needs to be energy balance. And as I go through these, sorry, I was at a jazz game the other night. My voice is a little hoarse. As we go through these, this applies to all diets, not just an Iron Fork program. It doesn't matter what diet you choose, whether it's keto, intermittent fasting, flexible dieting, any of them. These are applicable. So number 2, you want to focus on your macronutrient profile. And what that means is the ratio of protein, carbs, and fats that you are taking in. I'm not huge personally on just focusing on the ratio itself, because that only tells you part of the problem. All of these are compounding. So you need to have your energy balance in check before you start worrying about your macros, I'm sorry. So, someone can come to me and say, I'm eating a balanced diet. It's 40% protein, 40% carb, 20% fat. That's great. How much of each? You could be eating 1,000 calories and have that ratio. You could be eating 10,000 calories with that ratio. So, like I said, get your energy balance in check, depending on your goal. Then start working on your macronutrient profile. Then after that, you can get your micronutrients in. And micronutrients are the vitamins and minerals, those that you need in small doses. And I also put water in with this. Not that you need small doses of water, but on this priority. So with micronutrients, what I suggest is eating whole, unprocessed foods. You can get almost everything you need from your diet. And with that, also keeping a well-balanced diet. So lots of fruits, vegetables, dairy if you're not lactose intolerant or sensitive to it, red meats, chicken, fish, everything. Bring everything into play, and you can get a really nice micronutrient profile from that. Number 4 is meal timing and meal frequency. Honestly, here, there's not a magic meal frequency. There's not a, we've all heard kind of you have to have a protein shake within 10 minutes of leaving the gym or else you're not going to build any muscle, which simply just isn't true. But the meal timing and frequency, why I have it over here, is because this plays into making this a lifestyle. You have to make your meals fit your life. If you're, I've worked with high school students that have to fit meals in when they can, or teachers, the same way. Or if you have a very demanding job where you don't get a lot of breaks, you have to fit these into what you can do in your life. Eating 6 meals a day is not magic. Eating 1 meal a day is not magic. You need to set this up in a way that is sustainable. And with that, we're talking about hunger. You're managing your hunger well. You are managing your time well. And it's something that you can stick to. And then last is supplements. See the difference here? Supplements are really just that. They're there to supplement what you weren't able to get in these first 4 priorities. So, for example, let's say you are lactose intolerant with your micronutrients. Down here is where you could add a calcium supplement. Or, even with the meal timing and frequency. Let's say you're running late and you're busy in the mornings and you didn't have time for breakfast. This is where supplements can kind of fill in those gaps, where you can have a protein shake or you can have a meal replacement supplement. That's where supplements can kind of come in handy, but they shouldn't be the main focus. So I hope this was helpful. I hope this kind of shed some light on a different way to place your priorities, maybe look at your own diet and kind of reevaluate how things are going. And if you've got these taken care of, that's awesome. Good job. If you have any questions, you can hit me up. Our website is ironforknutrition.com. I am on Instagram at ray.ironfork. And I hope this was helpful and have a great day.